I forgot about the campfire. Welcome to Procrastinate-n-Play. My name is Marie, and today we are going to work on a new campsite, the road where the boys all ride their bikes, and the abandoned restaurant. So let's get to it. Boomer, you gotta move. Matilda can't get by. Matilda, I am so sorry. I can't move him. I'm sorry, girl, you're stuck. Oh no, now I'm stuck. I'm gonna move you. Excuse me. Is anyone gonna talk to each other? Matilda. Oh wait, now he's gonna move. Okay, now Ken wants to move. Every single person wants to move except Boomer. Oh, bae. And now it's switched to Poppy again. Why won't Boomer move? I swear I've had everybody get thought bubbles except for Boomer, obviously. I can get it to show up and I can get it to transfer, but I cannot get it to go to Boomer. Hey, it's Marie. I haven't seen you in a while. Yeah, because I'm trying to get you to move out. So I'm time traveling. Have you ever had someone say, "Are you listening to me?" That's when you do this sort of thing. Oh yeah, absolutely. Didn't that look like I was listening? You can pretend to look interested just by bobbing your head up and down. Croquet, I do that all the time. It's such a good skill. Dang. KK. I don't think you should perform in this weather. Yeah, this time I will not forget. Will my luck turn? Oh, you're cool. Hey, Mira. Love your outfit, girl. Boomer? Where's your thought bubble? Really, dude? You're the worst. Anyone thinking? Boomer? Nope. As happy as can be. So I gave up on trying to get Boomer to move out because it was not working. So I decided to go ahead and start working on my next build. And this is a scene from the movie where all the boys are riding their bikes to an abandoned restaurant. And then on the other side of the road is when Brand, Mikey's older brother, is looking for them because his mom is mad that they left. And so Brand has to go bring his brother home. And while he's riding his bike, this guy Troy pulls up in his convertible. And Andy and Steph, the two girls, are in the car. And Troy is giving Brand a hard time because the bike that he's actually on is the little kid's bike. They let the air out of Brand's tires, and so he couldn't ride his own bike, so he takes this little girl's bike, and he's trying to track down these boys and chase them down. And so Troy he's a douchebag. So in the movie, he's kind of a jerk. Brand is holding onto the side of the car, and Troy grabs Brand's hand and then starts driving really fast. And the girls are yelling at him to stop, and he doesn't. And so then Brand kind of crashes his bike, and he ends up being fine. But the girls get out of the car and they're like, okay, that's not cool. And so that's how they end up with the rest of the group at the abandoned restaurant, because Troy was being a jerk, and they leave. Because Troy is driving a red convertible, I decided to get the race car bed and see how it looked. And then also to get a tricycle because Brand is on that little girl's bike. And I ended up deciding to just keep the red car, but then switching out the pink bike with the tricycle. I couldn't add too many trees on one side of the road because we needed to be able to see the car and the bikes. But on the other side of the road, I added a ton of trees. So that's me just filling in all the space with as many trees as I can get to fit. And then I decided to walk around the island one more time to see if anyone had a thought bubble. There he is, the happy bastard. Won't move out, and yet look, here's Bill thinking about moving again. Boomer. I actually like Boomer, but I do need him to move out because I still have one character I need to get from Goonies, and that is Mikey's older brother, Brand. And so that's why I'm trying to get Boomer to move out, but he is not cooperating. So over here, I originally had the campsite, but then I decided to move it and kind of extend the Able sisters onto the beach. You guys, I have a gross story to tell you. So I was at school and I went to the bathroom. Don't worry, it's not going to be that kind of gross. And I'm sitting there and I look up, and in the light fixture are all of these dead roaches. I mean, thank God they were dead. But I was so grossed out. Like, I wish I had never looked up because ignorance really is bliss sometimes. But I leave the bathroom and then I start looking around at all the different light fixtures on the way to my classroom, and there's dead bugs, including roaches, in all of them. It was so gross. Like, I don't know what's going on in this building, but they need to get an exterminator and they need to clear that stuff out. It was nasty. I took a picture to show my boyfriend, and so I'm going to show you guys too, because sharing is caring. Of course. And now it's Doc. Oh, he doesn't want to move. Sure. Oh my god, why do they charge so much money? Anything for you, Doc. Now I am working on the abandoned restaurant, which I decided to put in front of the museum. And in the movie, the boys in Mikey's attic, they find a treasure map. And so then they come out to this area because they think this is where One-Eyed Willie's treasure is. And they find this like landmark and they count a certain number of steps, and it leads them right to this old abandoned restaurant. And now I'm building the rake. Steph steps on this rake and it flips up into her face, and it scares the crap out of her and Andy because there's like dead fish or something on the end of it. The only other thing I added to the restaurant, which you'll see in the tour, was I just put a black Jeep on the side of the restaurant because Chunk saw the Fratellis driving away like during the police chase, and then when they see that black Jeep on the side of the restaurant, Chunk sees that it has bullet holes in it. And so he's freaking out because he knows it's the bad guys. And then they go in the restaurant, and that's where they first meet the Fratellis. Now I am back on the beach working on the new campsite. So this is on the right hand side of the island, just past the seafood restaurant. And because it's right next to it, I decided to keep up with the blue and white theme. And this picnic blanket coat that I'm using, it's from the same creator that did the strawberry one. So there's like little yellow duckies on it. It's super cute too, but I decided just to use the blue and white. I did have some trouble figuring out my spacing. So you'll see me put down the blanket and then move things around and then put down more blanket. But that's how it always goes. That's just the process. I have finals this week, so I've been studying a ton. And one of my finals was in my neuroscience class. And so honestly, it's just a ton of memorization. And it's like you have to remember which brain region all this stuff happens in. And like if there's a lesion in this part of the brain, you know, then what happens? Like what does it do to the person? And it was really annoying me because, you know, they have all these fancy terms for stuff and we already have words for these things. So it's like the medial temporal lobe or the dorsal lateral blah, 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 and the superior this and the inferior that. But all these words, they basically just mean like middle and top and bottom and front and back. And I don't understand why we have to have like new names for all of these things. And then I was looking at my notes and it said, instead of saying medial, it said mesial with an S. And I was like, oh, it must be a typo. But then I looked it up and no, that's another word. And it basically means the same thing. Like it's midline, it's the middle still. So I don't understand why we have to basically learn a whole new language, like a foreign language almost. Like tons of Latin and some Greek even to figure out all of these brain regions. I don't get it. And then there was another thing where it was a disorder after a lesion in this certain part of the brain where people can't recognize objects anymore. Like I could be holding a cup and ask you like, what is this? And you would have no idea what it is. But then if I hand it to you and you start to feel it, you'll recognize the shape of it by the feel. And so in my notes, it said that people can recognize it through palpations. And I'm just like, why can't you just say touch? Like, why does it have to be so difficult? And I think that this is why it takes people forever to get through. Med school is so long because you basically have to learn a new language. You have to learn all new words to say things that we already can say. It's very annoying. But it was worth it in the end because all that studying paid off. I literally took the test today, and I always compulsively check to see if they've posted grades as soon as I take a test or turn in a paper. And so I've been checking nonstop, and my professor already graded it and put in the grades, and I was so excited because out of 60 questions I only missed one. It's driving me crazy because I want to know which question I missed, but memorizing all those stupid terms, it paid off in the end, so I guess I'm okay with it. But really, like, does it have to be so hard? Can't we just use top, middle? Like, come on. One of the disorders I had to learn about was so interesting. It's called optic ataxia. And basically your visual system is interfering with your motor movements, like you're getting bad feedback from what you're seeing. And so if you're trying to grab something in front of you, like your hand, you can't do it. Like your hand moves to the side of it. It's not going where you want it to go. But it's so crazy because if I tell you to close your eyes, then you can grab it. Because now your visual system isn't interfering anymore. You're not getting like this bad information, and you can actually grab the item. It's so crazy how our brain works. Like if you get damage, if you have a lesion in one area, it's really fascinating like how it changes your abilities and what you can and cannot do. It's crazy. After I finished the campsite, I decided I wanted to go ahead and build my skull pond. And so at first I was gonna do one of the, like an in-ground one, but then I decided the design that I liked better was where you build up the second level and then you add some water to that level and have waterfalls. So that's the one I ended up going with. And I thought it was gonna be super annoying. And you know how sometimes you like break it and then you make the water and then you immediately fill it in? Which I hate when I do that. Like you don't mean to, but you accidentally immediately fill it in. So I thought I was gonna end up doing that like a million times. And then same thing with the cliffs. I thought when I was shaping the second level, I thought I was gonna keep like building a cliff and then immediately breaking it. And I was just envisioning like the most frustrating of all the times, but actually it went like pretty smoothly. It was not that bad. So don't be scared to try a crazy shaped pond or a crazy shaped terraforming because it's not so bad. After finishing up the campsite and the road and the abandoned restaurant, we're getting close to finishing Goonies. There's just one more big section I need to work on, and that's in the back right side of the island. I need to do basically all the underground stuff. Like now that they're searching for the treasure and they're underneath the restaurant and working their way through the caverns until they get to the pirate ship. So that's what's coming next, and then just a few little details here and there in some of the neighborhoods, and that's it. Goonies is almost done. And so then the plan is to reset the island and start my 30-day challenge. It's gonna go from December 15th until January 15th, and on January 15th, I'm just gonna have like the island tour. So I'll actually finish the island on the 14th, and then I'll reset again, and I have an idea for the island after that. It's gonna be another movie theme, another movie from my childhood, so I'm excited. But I'm gonna hold on to that idea and tell you guys about it later. But before I finish Goonies, I still have to get my last villager. And I have tried everything I know how to do to get Boomer to move off, and I'm just at a loss. I need y'all's help. I need advice because I can get the thought bubble to show up, and you guys have seen it. Like, it transfers from person to person, but it just will never go to Boomer. So I don't know what to do. Please help. So here's what I finished today. This is where the campsite used to be, and I turned it into a little seating area, keeping with the red and white theme. I decided to use the strawberry picnic blanket that I think is so cute. I used my last island too, my 30-day challenge, and I'll probably use it on the next one because I love it so much. I have this little fancy seating area and then a little campfire and some wood logs to sit on. And then over here, I did a buttload of terraforming. And here is a present I need to pop. What? Okay. Oh, I have two. Whoa, nice. They have been following me so much today. Everywhere I go to build, everywhere I walk, there they are. Alright guys, I'm trying to give a little tour. Stay over there. So this is when the boys ride all the way to the abandoned restaurant. So I built the street with all the bikes. And then here is our abandoned restaurant. And I'm not going to do much out here. I mean, I think I'm going to add some rocks and maybe a few other things. But really, this is basically what it looks like in the movie. This is the rake that Steph steps on and scares the crap out of her. And then back here we have the car that with the bullet holes, the Fratelli's getaway car that Chunk sees. And my plan is to add more land back here to terraform more. And I'm going to do a room from the restaurant. And then we're going to get into when they go underground. So those are the next few really big builds I'll be working on. Oh, I forgot to show you the new campsite. I was like, I feel like I did more. And it's because I did. Okay, so here is our new campsite back over here. We have the actual campsite down here with just a couple of details. And then back here we have some of those kid tents, which are so cute, and a little picnic area. And I just decided to keep everything blue and white to fit with the seafood restaurant theme because everything over here is also blue and white. So I just continued it all the way over. And then the other thing I did, bonus, back here, I decided to build the skull pond. Instead of doing an in-ground one, I decided I liked this version better. Let me come up here so you guys can see it better. But here is my skull. That's going to be it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see y'all later.